Welcome back to Lempin's Cocktails. In celebration of the recent Yokohama Day, the anniversary that the US Navy and Commodore Perry opened Japan for trade with the world, I wanted to make a cocktail that originated here in Yokohama, the Bamboo. So for that, we're going to have to start at the beginning. Commodore Perry arrived in the 1850s with the goal of opening up trade to the world and to the US for Japan, and he succeeded, even though maybe some questionable means. Vague threats of violence, outward threats of violence maybe. But once Yokohama was open, a plan for the city was drawn up and commerce started to flow in. Some US Navy officers or former US Navy officers got together and opened a hotel with the purpose of serving foreigners in Yokohama, and that's the Grand Hotel. And for this hotel, they wanted a great bartender, so they found Mr. Louis Eppinger. He was formerly in San Francisco as a bartender. He came over to Yokohama, he lived in Yokohama, really made the bar menu his own, and he's now buried in Yokohama where he'll stay forever, assumably. Maybe. Weird? Yeah, a little bit. So anyway, that bar that he ran is where the Bamboo was created. The Bamboo is a very, very simple cocktail. It's dry vermouth, sherry, and bitters. It's a light aperitif cocktail. It's very tasty. Pretty excited to make it for the channel. Unfortunately, the original Grand Yokohama Hotel did not make up an earthquake in the early 20th century, so it was rebuilt, and that's where I visited, tried the Bamboo, and let's go see what that looks like. Back at Lempin's Cocktails, let's go ahead and make the Bamboo. First, we'll take our mixing glass and we're gonna do 2 drops, not 2 dashes, but 2 drops of Angostura bitters. So we're just gonna lightly tip this over into there, just a little bit, not too much. If we use too much, it's gonna be getting a little bit too close to that Adonis cocktail. Then we're gonna do 2 dashes of our orange bitters. This is a pretty low ABV cocktail. It's only got the vermouth and the sherry with a little bit of bitters. It's gonna be light, it's gonna be delicate. I hope it's gonna be delicious. We're gonna find out. Next, we're gonna take our jigger and we're gonna add 2.5 ounces. No, we're gonna add 1.5 ounces of our dry vermouth. Pretty simple so far. Our final ingredient for this cocktail is gonna be our sherry. I chose an Oloroso sherry, mainly because it was the cheapest bottle at the liquor store, and I chose Oloroso because I thought that the Fino would be a little bit too dry, and supposedly Oloroso is a little bit of a sweeter sherry. I'm not sure, I'm not a sherry expert, but I'm hoping the more I make cocktails with sherry in it, the more I build an appreciation. So with that, we're gonna do 1.5 ounces. Then we'll add our ice and give it a good stir. It's a pretty light colored cocktail, so with it just being the vermouth and the sherry, it's supposed to be very delicate, very crisp though. We're gonna see. Very aromatic, I can tell you that right now. This, I can smell it as I'm mixing it and it smells delicious. A lot of that sherry is really just coming up, but it is taking a little bit longer to chill than I anticipated. Let's see. All right, I think we're good there. Let's strain it into our glass. For the cocktail tonight, I've chosen this nice sherry glass. It's one of the first cocktail glasses I actually bought. I got it at Goodwill for about 25 cents. It's beautiful, and I figured since this is sherry based, let's go ahead and try this. Ooh, beautiful golden color of this drink. So this drink doesn't really call for a specific garnish, but I'm gonna use a nice lemon peel because I think it'll brighten it up just a tad bit. Hit those oils over the top. There we go. And then we're just gonna, figure out a way to garnish it. Like so. Here's our Bamboo. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Right off the top, you get a lot of that lemon, but also the sherry is really coming through pretty strong. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Okay. So I don't really get, let's try this again. I don't really get a lot of the Angostura bitters because there's just so little in there, and the orange bitters kind of get a little washed out too, although there's a little bit of the bright orange notes in the background. Really what you taste in this is the sherry. So this is a sherry drink, even though it's 50-50 with the dry vermouth. The dry vermouth gets a little bit lost. It's there, it's hanging around, but really this is sherry forward, and it's pretty good. But if you don't like sherry, you're definitely not gonna like this drink. I think it's pretty okay. It's definitely a light drink, and I wouldn't want to have a ton of them in a night, like a Manhattan or a Martini necessarily. But as a quick after dinner drink, this would be really light, really refreshing. I don't feel like it's gonna be too heavy to really sit on you for too long, and it's not gonna make you buzzed for sure because it's so low ABV, but it's pretty tasty. So there we go, a Yokohama original, because we're in Yokohama and we gotta support our city. So if you know of any other Yokohama based cocktails, please let me know. I'd love to make them for the channel and just try them for myself. If you like the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Have a good night and cheers.